So many years without a limb. But now, with the neogenic radiation in my system, now all I need is the perfect dose of reptile DNA. Look. Oh no, what have I done? I can't believe it. My arm, it's grown back. Oh no, what's happening?
Doc Connors, is that you?
Why yes, Peter. But I must warn you, the reptile DNA has changed me. You have to leave here at once. I feel I'm unstable.
Get away, Peter. I think you might be overreacting, Mr. Connors. Let's just take a chill pill and relax. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Figure Figures. It's your guy, Figure, and we're back today with another figure review. Today, it's the Marvel Legends Spider-Man the Animated Series Dr. Lizard figure. And in honor of St. Patty's Day, I thought we'd review something green for you guys here today. It was a toss-up between him and the Scorpion. Dr. Lizard won the coin toss, so I'm not mad at that, though. I'm really glad to review this figure. Been wanting to crack him open here already for a little while. Of course, if you guys don't know, this is Dr. Curt Connors. We've seen so many different versions of the Lizard over the years. Of course, the old school comic version, the modern comic version, the Toy Biz, figures, and then this guy in the animated series, later on in the movies and stuff. And they did some pretty cool figures for that. But this guy kind of really hits home for me. I remember this guy from the first episode when it came out back in '94 on that Saturday morning. And I'm really excited to see what they did here, especially with this head and stuff. A little backstory on Dr. Curt Connors. When he was young, he lost his arm in an accident. And I'm not sure exactly, there's a lot of different stories on how he lost it. But anyways, later on in life, he's got kids and a wife, and he's a professor at ESU, at Empire State University. And it's there that he takes his student Peter Parker under his wing and teaches him about the neogenic recombinator that he's developed. And he shows him how using reptile DNA in that recombinator, he can actually repair limbs. And he's done an experiment on these lab rats to do just that, and he's really enamored with this info, and he wants to use this DNA and the recombinator to grow back limbs in humans. So one night he tries it on himself. It works, but there's a side effect, and it turns him into the lizard. And so he goes into the sewers, into hiding. He starts kidnapping electricians around the city so that he can power this giant recombinator with the city's power to turn everyone into it. He's kind of losing it, guys. He's getting that lizard brain now. So he wants to now kidnap his wife, take her to the sewers to be his lizard queen, and use her hands to operate the recombinator, because his giant lizard hands, they can't do anything anymore. And so Spider-Man tracks him down to the sewers. They fight, and there's a battle in the water. Spider-Man sprays him with the recombinator, and he turns back into Curt Connors, and nobody has to know about this, Peter. So that's how it goes with Dr. Lizard in the show. That's just his little backstory. Let's take a little bit of a look here at the card that we get here. Of course, the old school Spider-Man card. I'm loving these cards. Almost don't even want to take them out of this thing. The clear window showing you all the accessories. Spider-Man, 60 amazing years. An animation from the show to his likeness. Of course, shows you where the accessories can go. And then another quick back read up on him. Desperate to be whole again. Geneticist Curt Connors injects himself with a regenerative serum derived from reptile DNA, only to find himself transformed into the monstrous lizard. All right. So with no further ado, guys, let's go ahead and crack this guy open and see what these guys are working with. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the accessories that comes with the Dr. Lizard figure. And of course, you're going to get this big green lizard tail. It's got the nice scaling in there, a little bit of a wash here on this tail. It separates the scales nicely. Here on the bottom of the tail, you're going to get some different scale work there. It's like a big alligator tail looking type thing. And then over here, you're going to get the beakers. You get the red triangular beaker. And then you get the yellow round beaker. It kind of looks like a bong a little bit. And we've seen these with the Beast figure before, so nothing new there. And then you get the gripping hand for the left, and you get a closed fist for the right. And I like these hands. They got the nice scaling in there as well. They got some wash to them a little bit. And then here on the head, I know you see the head. They did some nice work on the scales for this head. Sharp white teeth, that big long tongue sticking out. You don't get the tongue sticking out on the other head. So if you want a tongue sticking out, you got to go with this head. And then you get the yellow eyes there with the real serpent tight look. And then here on the top of the head, you get a nice wash. It almost looks like an alligator head from there. And the more I'm looking at this head, the more I'm starting to think this isn't even based off the animated series. This is the comic book lizard, because the animated Doc Connors had red eyes when he turned into the lizard, and this guy doesn't have red eyes. And I even think he was a different shade of green. This guy's more of a different color green, but he still looks pretty badass. I really like this head sculpt. If you're looking for the badass version of the Dr. Lizard, you got to go with this one. We'll take a look at the head on the other figure. That's accessories. All right, guys, so here he is, fresh out of the box. Doc Connors, fully rocking this white coat with the purple pants combo and the black t-shirt. This is a classic Doc Connors look. I got the tail on now. I got the different head on here. Well, actually, this is the head that he's going to come with in the box that you get here. And let's just go ahead and start from the top of the head and talk about that. You get a nice wash here in between the scales on this head. These are white eyes, not yellow eyes like the other one. On the other one, you got more of a serpent look on the eyes. And this is more of a black dot you get right there. More of a cartoon, like comic book look. No teeth, no tongue coming out there. But it's still pretty cool. And the more I look at this, the more I know this is comic book confirmed, because there's this is not relative to the show, but he does look like he's like halfway transformed from like human into the lizard at the same time. Like this guy could maybe still have like a relatively easy conversation with you, like you know, I don't know, he just still looks like he's like, if we could get like a Doc Connors head, maybe trade in the beakers for a Doc Connors head, and then get Doc Connors this one mid transformation, and then this guy fully transform. I think that would be pretty cool. But I'm still digging this. I like this look. It's a little bit different. I feel like we've gotten so many lizard figures that kind of have like a badass look like this. We haven't really got one that looks semi-friendly like this. I might keep this on my figure when I display him. Moving down, we got the white collar. He's got a little bit of swagoo dripping with the collar flipped up. This is like a rubbery coat here. You get a little bit of buttons. Would have maybe like to see some paint there on the buttons. I think you could remove this if you took the arms off, or maybe just really bending the arms back. You could remove this if you wanted to. We've seen this coat before with some other figures. We've also seen a soft goods lab coat, but they didn't decide to go with that this time. And then you get the black t-shirt here. It's got some wrinkles and stuff in it, rather fitted like they were in the animated series. And then here he's got the purple pants, purple button on his pants. So they didn't really do nothing too crazy here on the pants. It's just a flat purple. And then down here at the feet and the legs, you get really nice work. I think this is really where they hit their mark with this figure, is on the scaling and on this green paint. He doesn't appear to have any nails on his feet, I'm noticing. Maybe he was fused with like a gecko or something, not really more an alligator, but yeah, that's interesting. And then here on the bottom of the feet, you get like some copyright stuff, and they've even molded some little stuff there on the bottom of his feet. So that's pretty cool. So I think this guy looks really cool. The only thing is this is not based off the animated series for sure, because I just realized Doc Connors had a name badge always hanging here from his coat, and this guy doesn't have a name badge. So comic book totally confirmed. Let's talk a little bit about the articulation, and then we'll do some comparison. Okay, guys, so let's just talk a little bit about the articulation here on the Dr. Lizard figure. Let's go ahead and start at the top with the head. The head can go back about that far, can go down about that far. The arms can go up about that high. You get a swivel here at the bicep. You get double jointed elbows, and that's good because you get those beakers, so you're going to need that. And then you get a swivel here at the wrists with a little bit of a hinge, diaphragm joint with a nice ab crunch, back and forth just like that. Legs can go up about this high. You get a swivel here at the thigh, and then you get double jointed knees with a hinge at the ankle, which comes with a little bit of a rock. And I'm just really bending this guy around right now. Speaking of bending things around, let's go ahead and take a look at this tail and see how that thing bends around. You can see you can kind of bend it upwards. It's nice and bendy. You can bend it downwards. It can give him some stability if you don't rip it off the back of him. But it's kind of good that I ripped him off, so you can see the peg that comes with him. And there's a hole there. You just want to insert it nice and snug. And like I said, he could stand with it just like that. So no major gripes here with the articulation. I think he feels pretty good. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into some comparisons before we get into Fig's final thought. Okay, so for our first comparison, since this is from the Spider-Man animated series line, I got the Spider-Man animated series cel-shaded Spidey right here next to this lizard. And that's kind of how these guys look, kind of in the same size range. I do think it would be nice if this was supposed to be from the animated series to get a bigger lizard. The lizard should be way bigger than Spider-Man. If you remember back in the intro to the Spider-Man series when he whips that tail and breaks that wall, remember how big that lizard looked? That dude was monstrous. And this lizard, he still looks kind of like he's in the Doc Connor's body. So that's scale for him and Spidey. Let's go ahead and scale him next to the classic Spider-Man and see how he looks with the other head sculpt. Okay, so for our second comparison, we have the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man with the alternate head Doc Connor's figure, and I think they look pretty cool together. Of course, this is more of an old school comic book type look, and I like the way this looks. So I think maybe this size is more maybe in the range for that old school comic Dr. Lizard. This might be really spot on for what they did back then. I think he looks good with this Spider-Man, though. That's going to be this comparison. Let's do one more. Okay, so for our final comparison, I got Rogue here. Why? Because she's just so lovely. And I'm comparing her here to this Dr. Lizard as far as size. And you can see they're in the same ballpark. He's not much bigger than she is, and he really should be. So I don't know about that. If they're going head up, it's a no-brainer with Rogue every time. Oh, man, I really like this Rogue. Anywho, that's a comparison. Let's go into Fig's final thought, and I'll give you guys my final verdict on the Dr. Lizard figure. So my final verdict on the Dr. Lizard figure. Really happy about this guy. We couldn't finish the line without him. He was a Walmart exclusive, super hard to find, and so I definitely don't regret picking this guy up. Doc Connors, he's just a great character, you know. He's one of Peter's best friends, and at the same time, he's one of his deadliest enemies. So that just alone makes him one of the classic characters in Spider-Man, and I had to pick him up regardless almost of how he looks, to be honest. So even though he looks really cool, I think this is a comic book look. I really hope in the future we can get an animated series look, a real Doc Connors animated series look, transformed and non-transformed. I think that would be really cool. This guy, the purple pants, look, I just realized him and Hulk got something going on with these ripped pants and green skin. I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty satisfied with them. Not too many gripes. I like the other head. Probably going to throw that on there. If you guys like this Dr. Lizard figure, let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. It's your guy, Fig Newton. We'll see you next time. Fig Newton, out.